Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show. That's where I go for the latest band info. So all around town radio show for the music that covers my soul.
Hey, everybody.
It's the All Around Town Radio.
Thank you, Sweet Sister Mercy, for rocking out that theme song. Love it. Love it. We'll play that in its entirety at the end of the show today. Thank you so much for being with us today on a Monday. It's Monday. Scott has no voice. We're going to try to make it through this. It is our weekend update, guys. We're going to talk about who we saw play over the weekend, and we're looking to have you tell us who you saw play over the weekend. If you're out there, drop us a little comment. Let us know you're in the house. Let's see who's checking in today. Glenn from The Wanderers is with us today. Rob Paisley in the house. Thank you, Rob, for checking in on YouTube as well. Our YouTube channel is available to you at All Around Town Radio. Give it a subscribe. That way, if the Book of Face ever goes down, that will be live on YouTube. You'll be able to see us. And thank you, Heather. Isn't that a great intro tune? Mark Robinson wrote the lyrics to that. The boys and Sweet Sister Mercy playing it hard. And Rob Nadler for mixing that down in his studio. So thank you, Rob. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Hollywood, how are you, my friend? Good to have you with us today. Thanks for dropping in there. We'll play that one in its entirety at the end, that theme song. But thank you for dropping by here. We've got lots and lots and lots to talk about. Gosh, we do. I'm making a note here as well. How y'all doing on this Monday? You guys have a good weekend? Everybody, if you did, make a comment. Let me know you had a good weekend out there. And we'll put a note here for myself. All right, let's see who's checking in. Let's say hi to some people here getting out of the chute. Jennifer Long, how are you? Good to see you over the weekend. Ray Renee in the house. Thank you for being with us. Skip from Liars for Hire joining the party. Kara saw Doug Hart at Hanks. Thank you for that, Kara. Hope that was a good show. Doug Hart, always a great show. He is. Chris Reese giving his usual SUP. I believe that's supposed to be cool for sup. I think maybe that's a cool way to say it, but I don't know. Or it can mean a lot of things. What does the initials SUP stand for besides sup? Make it up. We don't care. Steve Stein from the Times in the house. Gina McCann, the lovely Gina McCann of Johnny and Gina fame, and Gina McCann, award-winning, loud, blasting, raspy, wonderful, bluesy, fantastic vocals. Yes, thanks for being with me today, Gina. Butch Snyder in the house. How you doing, Butch? Good to have you with us. Rooster Fries is with us. Thank you. I like the Don't Tell Steve shirt, too. I do. We're going to talk about them in just a little bit. I got to see him over the weekend. Had a blast with him, actually. And yes. Thank you for that, Jennifer. Yeah, Scotty Long doing his Friday night Diamonds and Boots party that went on at Froggy's, our sponsor of our Thursday show, featuring Who's Playing Out. Speaking of that, 4,000 views again this week. Thank you all for sharing, man. You guys are killing it with that show. Thank you for blasting that one out to the neighborhood. We appreciate it. Tina saw Sweet Sister Mercy at the Monkey Bar on Friday. Fantastic as always. They're always fantastic. I love those guys. I do. Home of the All Around Town theme song. What's up, Robert James? Thank you. Saw you over the weekend for sure. Yes. Jennifer, I got to see you and Don't Tell Steve as well. It was good. And Scotty and everybody else in the house. It was a lot of fun. Side piece in the house. Good to have you with us. They saw Finding Melissa on Friday night. Played Saturday at the Brick Tap Tavern. Cool stuff. Stephanie Maples in the house. Hi, Steph. I'm going to talk about you in a minute. Stick around. I might say something nice even. I might. Yeah. Got to see that band Gina did at Latitudes. That's always good time. Hi, James. Thanks for dropping in. I'm trying to get to your comments, guys, here, and then we're going to get into the weekend update if we can. Got a lot of you joining the party here on a Monday. Thank you for that. It's amazing what happens in the winter months. The numbers go way up because nobody's out having fun outside, although it's a decent day today. Yeah, Rachel saw Sweet Sister Mercy. Thank you for that, Rachel. And Stephanie, I'm going to get to you, but I will say this right now. Thank you so much for the shout out you gave me on Saturday. I'm very humbled by that when you do those kind of things. And thank you for that. I appreciate you more than you know, my dear. And we will definitely get into that when we chat about your show, as Mark Robinson calls it, the All Around Town Radio Show. It's a really big show. It is. Hi, Gary. Wanted to replay a post on the Book of Face, but lost it. First concert was Elvis in 73. There you go. Yeah. Did anybody happen to look at that? I posted Sunday night just on a little whim because I was doing a little test of the Book of Face. And I posted this thing that said, who was your first concert ever? Within an hour, I had like 800 comments, and it's just still going, man. Every time I get on my phone, I've got 100 more notifications. And it's so cool to read everybody. And it ranges in ages from Elvis all the way to, Goo Goo Dolls. I mean, it's amazing how that works. And thank you all for participating in that. Anytime you participate in those, I just love it. What's up, Stephen Bell? The Steve and Don't Tell Steve. I can be Scotty. My mom calls me Scotty. She does. Gina left before you could get her up there to sing with you. Well, Chris Reese, the crowd missed out on that one, didn't they? But Chris Reese, great front man in that band, and certainly fun. Hi, Cricket. How are you? Thanks for being here. I don't have the cricket noise on the board today, or I'd throw it in there. But Mike took in Sweet Sister Mercy and Danny Frazier with Doug Drew on drums. I saw that. Greg Ambergy and Scott Bratcher, man. Scotty Bratcher. Cool stuff. It was a great weekend of music out there. It was. What's up, Dewey? No fun for him other than the jam on Thursday. I missed that one Thursday. Yeah, I've been busy lately. It's been crazy, but I'm hoping to get back to the jam maybe this week. We'll see. That'll be 2 nights straight at the Bell for me this week. I'm going to be there on Wednesday hosting Name That Tune. But Rooster Fries caught locking up Otis at Pullman's. They're a great group. I've seen them numerous times. Love them. Hollywood says locking up Otis. Kevin Cooper at Hamilton Hub. There you go. Got to see the Coop. There's Jerry Nemmersheim. And on a fluke, man, who walked in when we were watching Don't Tell Steve the other night. And he and Heather, we had a great time together. It was a fun night. Stephanie ices the cake. Anytime you're out with great friends like that, and then you're watching Stephanie Maples and her band, it's golden. It is. All right, guys, I am trying to get to all your comments, but I got to get started here. I'm going to run out of time today. Hi, Patricia. Thank you for being with us. Hola, Patricia. Good to have you. White Snake, Jennifer said she saw in 1987. If you didn't put that on the page yet, throw it on that comment. I'm amazed at how many people. I loved reading all those who people got to see for their first band concert. It was neat, and there were some funny ones on there too. People seeing, my parents drugged me to this and all that, and that was kind of fun. Perry got to see that band. They said sounded fantastic. Perry Waldron, my good buddy. Oh, I assume you meant a rock concert. My first concert was actually Dayton Fillmore. No, it could have been any concert, actually. It didn't have to be rock. You could put anything you want on there. That band at Latitudes. I know you were there, Patricia. You were. Glenn wants me to tell him about Pure Perry League. I'm going to. I'm getting there if I can get through all these. Yes, Jerry is the pony guy. Jennifer, you hear that, Jerry Nimmersheim? You have a trademark now. And the girls sitting behind us, they thought you were the bomb diggity. Now, Stephanie, I had to call security for these two girls because of Stephanie's dad. No, I'm just kidding. He's funny as hell. But we were having a good time then. I asked the women there if they needed security when he was talking to them. And they probably did, for sure. Yes, absolutely, Chris. Yeah, you went to his memorial this morning. A wonderful person and a wonderful performer, Tony Geetline, at his memorial service today. But we mentioned him on the show. What's it been, a week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know, ago. And we certainly know that he will be missed. And the times I've heard him play and had a chance to meet him and talk to him, what a genuinely good soul. And taken way too soon. Cancer sucks, people. It does. Yes, great time with you and Heather as well, Jerry. All right, guys, let me get through this here. What do we got? Yeah, I know. I need to clone too, Mike. There's so much music here. I mean, there's as much music here as there is in Nashville, and it's better half the time. So I'm just going to say that. Hi, Tom Stevenson. Thank you for being with me. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hope you're doing all right. Hollywood saw a flock of seagulls and the Go-Go's. Did you see them at Timberwolf? Is that where that was? I may have worked that show. Might have. The more questions you post, the more interaction and visibility. Thank you for that, Ray Renee, for my social media education today. I appreciate that. Yes, they did tell me that post was trending or whatever they say it is. Getting a lot of interaction. It was. And yeah, Pure Prairie League was great without Vince Gill. I'll say that, Gary. They were fine. And man, there's one guy that's singing lead there. And I didn't get all the names and write all the names down because nobody here will care about it. But I will tell you that he can sing like Vince Gill. He sounds like Vince Gill. A lot. Miller Hall and Timberwolf. There you go. Timberwolf, yes. All right, let's get to it today, guys. I want to talk about who we saw over the weekend. If you saw somebody play over the weekend, please drop it in there. Hi, Toy. Thank you. Hi, Jeff Morris. Good to have you with us as well. So this is your weekend update for January 9th, 2023, people. 2023. I got this cool thing back here behind my head that I just put up on the wall just temporarily today till I can find a good place for it. It's a clock, and you can see it's got a vintage mic on it and all that. Our son Wyatt got it for me for for Christmas. It's cut out of a vinyl album. It's really cool. It's original. I mean, it's vinyl. It's an old vintage vinyl, and they did that laser cut of all that stuff and the clock. So that's cool. I got to figure out a place to put it here in the studio, but I wanted y'all to see it today, so I put it up there for real. All right, welcome to your number one source for live local music news, bands, venues, and more all around town radio from the Springboro studios today. And thank you for the 4,000 of you hall monitors for watching Thursday's show. It was awesome. 4,000 on the views, and we appreciate it. It's all because of your shares, and it's all because of you guys that happens here. And that's the show where we really do push supporting live local music and who's playing where. And if you have a band or anybody that would like to be involved in that, have them send me a DM on the Book of Face, and we'll get you involved in it if your band would like to be featured on our Who's Playing Out list, just like Jay Clark, the Jay Clark Band. Hi, Greg. Thank you. Yo, Greg. Yo. So I want to go back to Wednesday, though, before the Thursday show. Went to Pullman Lanes on Wednesday afternoon, took in the Standard Country Time Band, hung out with my friend Hollywood. I gave it a shout out on Thursday, but I'm going to give it another shout out because this place is one of the cleanest venues you'll ever go to. I mean, honest to God, you could eat off the floors in this place. It's so clean. And thank you for that, Jerry. It is my retirement anniversary of 9 years, man, from the fire department. 9 years. It's a mighty long time, but I'm here to tell you there's something else. It's called live local music. What's up, Mike? You saw Party Foul Band at Mr. Burroughs. Sorry I missed you there on Friday night. I was down in Cincinnati Friday night, actually, for sure. So, yeah, I want to talk about Standard Country Time for just a minute. If you like pure, true, old-fashioned country music, I'm talking Merle Haggard, George Jones, Floyd Kramer, people like that. If you like those bands, go to Pullman on a Wednesday, 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Take a little time off work if you're working then. Go do it. And check this out. First of all, you're going to look at that crowd and you're going to say, wow, that is absolutely killer. The crowd that they draw there. And, you know, there's not a lot of young folk. I'll say that. But they're still young at heart, man. They're partying, dancing, having a great time with the boys from the Standard Country Time Band. And they're always super nice. They nailed me in Hollywood and brought us both up on stage. And then Hollywood had to say a few things nice about me, which is nice. And I tried to say a few things nice about him. And we tried to say a few things nice about the band until Corky told me I was fat and pudgy. And I told him he needed a cheeseburger because he's a skinny little runt. He is. But we had a good time. And Standard Country Time Band every Wednesday, 1 to 3, Pullman Lanes. And don't forget to stop into Pullman's in Hamilton. Check him out. I mean, he's got a great thing going there. Hollywood's birthday bash coming up at the end of the month. Our friends from Six String Hustle will be there this month. Check it out. Check out his book face page for info on who's playing out at Pullman Lanes down in Hamilton. So, hello, Stephanie Rumke. Hi, Marie. Thanks for dropping in today. Good to have you with us as well. And I want to talk about Wednesday night real quick. Took in Velvet Crush Unplugged at Milano's. You see some pictures on our page of all these events. We had the Triple D, as we call it, Dana, Dave, and David. David Hurley, David Garwood, Dana Garwood, singing in that one. Now, David Hurley, he doesn't normally play anymore with Velvet Crush. I believe he may be joining up with another band locally. We're going to talk to them soon, so I won't let the cat out of the bag. But certainly Mr. Hurley, Mr. Garwood, and Mrs. Garwood put on a great show. We had a great time. There were a lot of friends there. Milano's a great place for pizza and subs and adult beverages. And really a good time with our friends from Velvet Crush Unplugged, playing a variety of tunes that are pretty laid back. They're good. It's just good music to sit and have dinner to. That's what I'll say. So thank you to Velvet Crush Unplugged for a good Wednesday night. We've hit Milano several times on a Wednesday night lately. Saw Rick Sylvester, Heath Bowling there. Had a good time. Thank you, Eddie. I'll go after Corky all day long. My good buddy Lee Reed from River City Productions, one of the best production companies you'll ever see in music right there, guys. Triple D, that's what we're calling him. Yep. It's double D when it's just Dave and Dana. But Velvet Crush Unplugged Wednesday night. Took a little night off on Thursday. Had that stupid cold thing going, you know, the head stuff, all that. Took a little night off. Still trying to fight it off a little bit. But Friday night, I want to talk about headed down south into Cincinnati. And is it technically Clifton where we were, where the Ludlow Garage is? Is that the technical place? If anybody knows, tell me. I think it's Clifton. But we were at the Ludlow Garage for Pure Prairie League. Now, only one founding member in that band on Friday night. But the guys that were there, some of them have been with the band for a long time. And that band's been at it for almost 40 or 50 years. I'm sorry. Good stuff. Thank you, Roger, for that. Yeah. And somebody else said, Chris Reese said Clifton. All right. Yeah. Somebody was trying to tell me that night it was actually called Ludlow. And, the town we were in, I said, no, I don't think so. But before I talk about Pure Prairie League, let me say this. We had dinner across the street at a place called Gaslight Inn. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, if you want a good dinner, go there. We did not get reservations in time, so they said you had to do a walk-in. We walked in. The only place we could get, that place is empty when we get there, mind you. Only place we could sit was at the bar. Our bartender was fantastic. He was great with what was on the menu and telling us about things and all that. But in about a half an hour, this place filled up every table. I mean, they had every table sold out. And it was a fantastic meal. Mrs. Hall around town loved it. And if you're a bourbon drinker, we topped it off at the end with this Woodford gelato. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. Good stuff. Gaslight across from Ludlow Garage. So then we went to Ludlow Garage. And Ludlow Garage is always a fun place to see a show. The layout of the place is probably as unique as any venue you'll ever go to. But one thing I noticed, Ludlow has changed their seats out since the last time I was there. The last time I was there, they had some airplane seats and the tray tables folded up and all that. Now they've got some new cushier seats, but there's no tables there. There's cup holders in them in front of each seat, like you'd see at most concert venues and so on. But we had a blast with Pure Prairie League. They played that band's had more albums than most people are aware of. And Pure Prairie League has incredible harmonies, wonderful musicianship. And one thing I really enjoyed about them is they were great storytellers. And they had some people there that night that obviously their camp, this is Cincinnati area is kind of their home base, Waverly, Ohio, and those kind of things. So a lot of people were there seeing them that are friends of theirs. Their old road manager was there. They were having a really good time that night, putting on a great show. And, they kept saying, hey, we're going to be out there signing stuff, whatever. When you all get done, make sure you come see us. They sold a bunch of merch and things that bands do. They were joking about coming up from Nashville, 3 of the members, and getting stopped by the Ohio State Patrol when they got into Ohio. And the one patrolman, it was kind of a funny story, said something about, what are you guys doing with all that stuff in the back of your car? And they said, well, it's band equipment. We're in a band. He says, well, what band are you in? And they said Pure Prairie League. And this young trooper was kind of scratching his head. And there was another trooper that was at the back of the car, like a second car or one of those things. And the female trooper was a little older, and she started singing Amy. And then the guy was like, oh yeah, I know that song. Well, the end of the story was, I think they got a warning instead of a ticket for speeding in Ohio. So welcome to Ohio. The Ohio State Patrol always likes to welcome people that way, but Pure Prairie League playing all their hits and then some, going deep into some deep tracks as well that night. And one thing I admired a lot, obviously, is I think his name is John. Correct me if I'm wrong. John, that plays the steel guitar, the flat top steel guitar. Absolutely one of the best steel guitar players I've ever heard. And I love that instrument. I love a Hammond B3 and I love a steel guitar, flat top guitar. And he was incredible. And you don't really realize until you go back and listen to Pure Prairie League at how influenced they were by that instrument. Yeah. And that's cool, Lee. He said the original bass player from Pure Prairie League taught his dad to play bass. How about that? That is awesome. Yeah, and Stacy Tucker, who's on our show sometimes, and she helps book Jordan Wood. When she was growing up, they used to play in her parents' backyard. So where they lived and all that, and the Pure Prairie League would just sit down and play, and that's kind of some cool stuff. And they did not bring in Vince Gill. However, they had a guy that sounded a lot like Vince Gill, and it was good. And they had a lot of songs that should have been bigger hits than they were. Of course, Amy was their big smash hit, but many other songs. And shout out to Ludlow Garage for a wonderful venue, a wonderful way they run it. It's easy to get in, easy to get out. We didn't have any trouble parking. It was a great time. So Pure Prairie League, and yeah, Glenn says yes, John. John was amazing, and he's one of the founding members of that band, and just a cool dude too. And now, as we were leaving the concert after they finished their encore and such, we were walking out, and here comes the bass player who hasn't been with them for, I think, about a year, and the drummer, and they just got in line with us to leave the venue, and we sat and chatted with them, or kind of walked and chatted with them the whole way out till I got blocked, unfortunately, by about a 90-year-old guy on a walker who cut out in front of me, and then I was left by my crowd that I was with. But it seemed to be my weekend. I kept getting behind slow people, but someday I'll be there, so I didn't give it too much thought. Mike saw Booker T in Park City playing a Hammond B3. I love the Hammond B3, man. The originals, they're so cool. Just a wonderful, it's just a sound you just don't match. Lee says he and Brian Middendorf have to tell me about the family reunion. That'd be cool. I'd love to hear it. Lee Reed, you got a lot of great stories, man. To be as young as you are, you got some good musical stories. You do. You've been around it, though. I know you've lived it. So thanks to Ludlow Garage Friday night and Gaslight for dinner and all the good things that went on in Pure Prairie League for putting on a wonderful show. I mean, everybody left the place was talking about how good they were. and the harmonies were just sweet. And the sound at Ludlow is always spot on. I mean, I don't know who's doing that, if they've got a house guy or if each band brings their own or whatever, but it looks like there's a house PA most of the time. So I would think. So if somebody knows out there, put it in the comments. But Ludlow Garage, great sound, great lighting, great fun, and comfortable. And there's not really a bad seat in the place. I mean, we were sitting sideways to them, but nothing much. John says Ludlow Garage place to be in its day. I understand, though, that where it is now is not where the original was, right? Yes. Lee says, Mighty Young have been around the block a few times. Well, you're a blockhead, maybe. I don't know. But yes, Lee Reed, you're an awesome dude. Love hanging out with those guys that do River City production. They're fun. And they teach me things every time I'm around them. And let me tell you, Todd, when he's doing DV8, is a genius. So I always like to hear him as well. He's a sound engineering. He is an engineer. There are sound men and there are engineers. He's an engineer. He's got an ear for it. So let's chat about Saturday. I want to talk about Saturday for a minute while we're still got some time to go here. Don't Tell Steve at Froggy's. Now, you know, we shuffle a lot of things and juggle a lot of things on the weekend, including our grandson's basketball game, which was in Monroe, which was supposed to be at 5:30. We were going to go to dinner and then head over to Don't Tell Steve. Game got pushed back to 6:30. Like all those things happen. And we finally got the game over with about 7:45. Ran and had a pizza down at Fig Leaf Brewing, which was fun and good. And then ran over to Froggy's. And we walk into Froggy's, and my lovely Stacy McGuire and Richard, I get to the door, and Richard meets me at the door and says, "Oh, you've got a table back there." I said, "I've got a table? I never said I was even going here or anything." Well, somehow Stacy has this, is it like ESP? Maybe she's got ESPN. I don't know. She's got ESP. And she picked up on me saying something on the show where it sounded like I might be there. And she said she knew they were going to be full, so she reserved a table. So thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, but we appreciate it. And Mrs. Hall around town and I get in there, sit down, get comfortable, get waited on right away. Froggy's great wait staff. And they roll over and get us our drinks. And the next thing is Heather from Heather's, as you know, and Jerry walk in the door, and we're waving at them. They come over and sit with us. We had just one hell of a night there with Stephanie and Don't Tell Steve. Now, one thing I will say, and no offense to our friends Stacy and Rich, I'm not a fan of 9 o'clock starts. There's a reason, because everybody's gotten so used to early nights. 9 o'clock start times tend to empty the room out about midnight. And it's a shame for the band, because a lot of times, you know, the band's fired up and they're wanting to play that last set and kill it and do all the things. And, you know, it just 9 o'clock starts can be tough because most people have gotten programmed to go home by midnight. And that was the case there at Froggy's. It wasn't like the place was empty. Don't let me, you know, make you think it was empty, but it was certainly, Stephanie does an incredible thing at the end of her show, and those kind of things happen, and you hope for a full room for on that. Hi, Dave Kale, DJ Dave Kale, my friend from Autism Rocks. Thank you for being here. And Roger, thank you. You think it was the same place? It was an Uno's at one time? Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody, I have to read the story behind the Ludlow and get all the stuff behind it. And Mike, it's just like people have been programmed to go home early. And it used to be the crowd was just rolling at midnight. It was party time, but it just seems like it was interesting. And Don't Tell Steve, incredible show. Stephanie Maples, hands down, one of the best front people. I don't want to say front man, because she's not a front man. Front women in a band that I've ever seen. And she interacts with her crowd so well, connects with her crowd so well. And she's one of those, if you haven't seen her, guys, you're going to love her from the first 5 minutes. When she starts chatting with the audience and telling you about what you're in store for the night and all that, you're going to love her. You're going to love the crowd that follows her. You're going to love her grandma who sells merch for her. and hands out little blinky lights and all those things, you're just going to love the Don't Tell Steve crowd. And Steve runs sound. He's the don't tell part. He runs sound and lighting for him, and he's always working on improving his production, his light show. His sound is always spot on, and really a good time. And Froggy's was full, man. I mean, in fact, Heather and Jerry got there after us, and Rich was telling them at the door, we're full. We don't have any more seats. And they don't overcrowd Froggy's either. And that's one thing I admire about them, because some places would just say, oh, I'm taking the cover charge and going in. And not a soul batting an eye about a $5 cover that night to come in and hear a great band either. And that's one thing you got to think about for these venues. It's how they help pay for the bands. It is. Mike Roberts says, good day, bad day, under the weather with a cold, long week. Stephanie Maples always gives 120%. She does. She is a consummate professional. She's also fun. Hi, Tierra. Thanks for dropping in. Hi, Carrie. And Stephanie Rumke. Thank you. So, when you hear him play, she's doing Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy. She's doing Blame It on the Boogie. She's doing some Casey and the Sunshine Band. She does Cher. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But they did Pony as well. And Jerry Nimmersheim, he was doing his Magic Mike dance at the table, which I enjoyed extremely. Stephanie's dad was in the house. Got a chance to hang with him. He's a wonderful person as well, and a lot of fun. Got to see Scotty Long and Jennifer Long, who dropped by, and a host of other folks that we knew that were there that night. So it was a wonderful experience. Now, let me say this. And Stephanie, if you're still listening, Jerry says, damn bourbon. Stephanie, if you're still listening, I want to tell you this. And again, Stephanie gave me a huge shout out. She recognized a lot of people in the audience that night and shouted them out. But the huge shout out she gave All Around Town Radio in front of all those people. Thank you so much for that. And please thank Bruce, Stephanie. He'll know what you're thanking him for, but thank Bruce, if you will. Bruce, another one of your band members who is just a genuinely wonderful person. And if you'll give him a shout out, I don't have his information to message him, but certainly want to thank him and shout him out. The rest of the band, I mean, amazing band. And one thing about Stephanie's band, they're not a bunch of young kids, okay? And I will say that out of love, because young kids tend to call off. They don't come to practice. They don't do all those kind of things. Stephanie's band is solid. They are solid. And those guys, they are up there playing their heart out all night long with her fronting the band and keeping up with her and her energy. And Stephanie, I don't know what you have done, but it just seems like every time I see you, it just raises to an all new level. And Saturday night was a perfect night at Froggy's. Had a blast. Can't wait to see you playing some of the local venues again in the summer. We can get outside and hear them and have some fun with that. So that was our Saturday night. Thank you to Stacy and Rich from Froggy's. Thank you to the staff of Froggy's who was busting their butts because the place was full. And thank you to everybody who was there and enjoying a night with Don't Tell Steve. Great band. If you haven't seen them, put it on your calendar. Go see them. You'll love Stephanie and company. So I want to talk about a couple things real quick before I bug out of here. Again, thanks to the 4,000 of you, the viewers who watched us on Thursday. This is our segment we call Weekend Update. Tuesdays, Hot Topic Tuesday. That has been crazy with Karis from the Bell and the Bear. That is sponsored by the Bell and the Bear, by the way, that show. And Karis joins me as my co-host along with a host of other folks as we talk about some hot topics in music. And that's a great time. Thank you, Stephanie, very much. And thank you, Steve. Steve, great production that night, man. Your light show was amazing, too. And so on Tuesday, Hot Topic Tuesday, that goes off at 5. Wednesday with the band, I just had a cancellation this week. So if you're interested in being on Wednesday with the band, it's going at noon on Wednesday. So if you want to be on at noon. Otherwise, we'll do a whatever Wednesday. But if you're a band out there and you're watching, or a solo artist and you just want to come on and talk about your stuff, hit me up. We'll put you on Wednesday. The following week, I've got White Knuckle Weekend on with me. on Wednesday. That'll be a fun one that's coming up as well. And then I want to talk about Tuesday, or I'm sorry, let me talk about Monday for a minute. Monday, today, we were at Otterbein. It's a senior living center in Lebanon. I had a chance to be at Otterbein and do trivia today. I did it, from 2 o'clock till 3:30. I just buzzed home for this, but had a blast. Average age at trivia was 80, and we had a great time. These people were fun. They had a good time. We enjoyed it. Little matinee trivia, and I'm going to be back next month, they said, for that. They had such a good time. They want me to come back. So thank you for that. We had a blast. And Mike says, I'm going to need more room for that Sweet Sister Mercy guitar. Yeah, the studio's getting revamped here. So you're going to see a whole new backdrop, Mike, very soon when I get 5 minutes of my life to do it. Hi, Renee Elizabeth. Speaking of Mike Roberts, there's the lovely daughter. Mike Roberts, what's that song? You've got a lovely daughter. Yes. And let's talk about a couple more things this week. Obviously, Tuesday trivia at Mr. Burroughs. That'll be going on. So join me for that, 7 o'clock. Wednesday, I'm going to be live at the Bell and the Bear for Name That Tune. We're going to be playing that game 7 o'clock. Last time we were full, so get your reservations in at the Bell and the Bear for that one. That's going on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. We'd love to see you. And then Thursday, it's Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies and Monroe here at All Around Town Radio. And maybe even the jam night for me at the Bell. It's Kevin Cooper's birthday, so we're looking forward to that one. So thanks for being with us today, guys. It's been a little long here, so we're going to roll on out of here. You've been listening and watching All Around Town Radio's Weekend Update. And we're going to leave you with our friends from Sweet Sister Mercy and the All Around Town theme that they wrote and produced. Thank you, Rob Nadler, for being the engineer on this one and providing some background vocals. So here you go, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock, right here with Karis and Scott, Hot Topic Tuesday. Bye now.
Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man on there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show. That's where I go for the latest planned info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town radio show. The All Around Town radio.
Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
It's the Weekend Review. It's a Bible coming for you. Speaking with the fans, sometimes they don't show well. Whatever, man. Well, coming who's playing out off the open jam with the who's who of talent. Come Friday night, ready to raise some hell. With all around, you know, playing to do it well. So all around town radio show. That's where I go for the latest planned info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the high.